The STL Bucket List show is driven by Bommarito Automotive Group. Bommarito is Missouri's #1 car dealership, and they are proud to represent the #1 podcast in St. Louis, the STL Bucket List show. We've personally purchased several vehicles from Bommarito, including our last one, which we recently just had another baby, so we had to upgrade to an SUV with third row seating. The entire team, John, Chuck, they all treated us like family. There's really nowhere else that we would buy a car in Missouri other than Bommarito Automotive Group. Enjoy the show.
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune into the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on, they'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.
St. Louis, we're back with another episode of the STL Bucket List show, highlighting the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special. If you notice some new products in the studio, we have some of those people in the studio today that make St. Louis special. Personally, I'm a huge fan of your guys' shops. You guys know Upshot Coffee, obviously Cottleville, Break Shop in St. Charles, and then the new spot over in Clayton has been Hi-Fi over in Clayton. So we have Connor and Eric from Upshot Coffee. Thank you guys for coming in, man.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
having us.
Great
to be here. The studio looks amazing.
Thank you, man. I mean, when we built the new studio, we had talked, I had a baby, and then somebody connected. I think Brett connected us, and then we were like trying to get together. And then I was like, I was at your shop one day and I was thinking about you, and I was like, hey man, I got an opportunity for you. So we just met at the roastery, which was super cool. That was over in St. Charles as well. I didn't even know that was there. So first off, Connor, I'll throw it to you, man. For those that don't know, I mean, what's the story of Upshot? Maybe give me a little background on how it came about, a little bit about the story of the brand, when you guys launched, and what it means to be here in St. Louis with it.
Absolutely. So in 2012, we launched BB Chocolate Bar in Cottleville, which was like our family's business that was engaged in the community. It's a community spot that we could make our own chocolate, make our own ice cream, really focus on high quality dessert type items, because I operated chocolate stores and I wanted to have something that kind of took my vision of what chocolate could be and delivered it to people. So we paired that with...
It was awesome.
It was
awesome.
I remember
it, yeah.
We paired it with a bar, and we had someone that ran the bar side, we had a food side, and then we had the full-on coffee side and pastries. So we were open from essentially 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. most days.
Wow.
And we were doing everything from breakfast all the way through nightcaps, which was awesome, and the community loved it, and it was a lot of fun. But about 5 to 7 years into that, it started to get pretty tedious as far as feeling like we were being stretched really thin. And I just decided like I need to focus on one thing. So at that point, we had some conversations and we're like, well, we really love the coffee side. And that is the part that I feel like bonds with our lifestyle. We had young kids at the time, so being at the bar all night long was not ideal. And we love the coffee side. I mean, I love coffee. It's my #1 thing that I drink when I go on vacation. It's the only thing I do is look for coffee shops, go to coffee shops. It's something I'm obsessed with. So we ended up just rebranding to Upshot Coffee, getting rid of the bar, getting rid of most of the food, and just going where we were roasting coffee instead of being a guest roaster, and really focusing on the pastries, the food, and getting coffee where we wanted it, and focusing on one thing.
Cutting those hours down a little bit and just
cut those hours down. We focused. We got our staff, our team much smaller to where we could build some real chemistry there, and then really get control of the main part of the business. And then once we had control of that, start to expand that a little bit.
And that was, you said 5 to 7 years after VB?
Yeah,
so that was 2018, 2019?
Yeah, 2019 is when we officially reopened and rebranded, and we were Upshot Coffee instead of VB Chocolate Bar.
Nice. And then Eric, what's the story of you guys? How did you guys meet? How did you get involved? Were you a coffee guy? Were you,
Yeah. I've been a coffee guy for, I guess, 15 years now. At the time, I was like the onset of VB Chocolate Bar. I was working at Picasso's as a manager there, and did that for a few years. And then VB's opened up. All my friends started working over at VB's, and so I just was there all the time. I ended up working there more or less as a fill-in guy because I was just kind of a part of the family a little bit.
I kept trying to hire him, but he was at Picasso's.
I had a good thing going there. Worked with my school schedule at the time.
Nice.
And then so I graduated college. My wife and I moved to Los Angeles, and I've just been kind of following along from afar. You know, it's closest to my parents' house. So when we would come back for Christmas or whatever to visit family, that's where we went, is VB Chocolate Bar. And at the time, I was kind of moving up the ranks at a company called Coffee Commissary in Los Angeles. I did a lot of different things there over the years. For the past couple of years, I was the president, CEO of that company. When in 2019, when Connor pivoted VBs to Upshot, it was very much like, yes, that's basically what I was doing at Coffee Commissary, is scaling Coffee Commissary. And I viewed that as like a really great move. As someone who absolutely loves VB Chocolate Bar, cigars, whiskey, chocolates, coffee, it was like paradise, right?
Yeah.
But when he pivoted to Upshot, I was like, that's smart. Because it just felt so much more repeatable at that point. And it's like, I see what he's doing. And I think we talked a little bit about it when I, just kind of over social media, and we would talk shop whenever I'd come back into town. And then just kind of, was viewing from afar and a fan from afar, always going to Upshot as when we were back in town. And when he opened up the break shop, I literally remember telling my parents, visiting there for the first time shortly after it opened, like, man, if I ever owned a coffee shop, I'd want it to be this. Connor really killed it with this location. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And flash forward to, 4 years later, and that's a thing now.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So you ended up moving back to St. Louis. Obviously, coming from LA, you had all this experience in coffee. Connor, I want you to kind of jump in. Like, what does it mean to have somebody that has that type of experience, bringing that back to what you guys are building at Upshot too?
What I really, really always appreciate about Eric, and I thought that he was really good at, was he could identify a location, he could train an entire staff, he could really get a vision from beginning, start to end, right? And then he could maintain it. Because I would say a lot of people are very good at having an idea and starting it, but actually getting it all the way through, maintaining it, creating the systems, and then keeping everyone on point and being able to do that over and over again. That's a fairly rare person in my experience, someone that loves the retail side and is also exceptional at it.
I agree.
So for me, when he was coming back through to St. Louis, I made him an offer that he could be a partner and he would have ownership in this, because I knew that the value he brought to the table.
An offer I couldn't refuse.
Yeah. Yeah. To leave LA and come back to, St. Louis and St. Charles, man. But being close to family, I'm sure as you guys started your family too, it made sense. And
well, for me, he's a guy that was from the area. He's been connected to us for a long time. I knew him like the back of my hand because we'd had a relationship for 15 years, and I knew what he was capable of, and I was grateful that maybe other people didn't know what he was capable of, which gave me that opportunity.
Yeah. First Community Credit Union is the official banking partner of STL Bucket List. They've been serving St. Louis families for 90 plus years with 40 plus local branches and over 400,000 members. From personal credit loans to mortgages to kids and teen accounts, they also have a partnership with the STL Blues. You see Louie here if you're watching on YouTube. We're proud to use First Community. I use it for my own family and my own business. We're excited for them to be the official banking partner of STL Bucket List.
He could have gone anywhere, and I was grateful that he came back with us.
That's great. So then, this baby was born with Hi-Fi, and the Hi-Fi location, me as a music lover, first of all, I love all your locations. I love Cottleville as that everyday cafe. It's always popping. It doesn't matter what day it is. It's hard to even park. I'm parking like all the way down the street to walk in. Parking illegally in somebody else's lot maybe or something like that. So,
just tell them you're going to McGraw's.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm going somewhere. So, or I'm whipping the golf cart up there or whatnot. But
yes.
As far as the Hi-Fi location, as a music guy, I got the vinyl records upstairs. It blends this vibe in Clayton that Clayton's probably never seen before. So like when you guys are building these shop out, like you have 3, I know more are on the horizon, I'm sure. But like Break Shop has its own identity, Flagship has its own identity, where it could just be easier to just duplicate the same thing. But you guys decide to go and create new brands every single time. Why do you do that? Or what's the mission behind that?
It's odd. I think it's something that is definitely significantly more complicated.
Yeah.
But I think that's typically what I've found that Upshot people typically like to do, is like we focus on quality and we'll get stuck on something that we think is really, really, really important. And when it could be much easier to just make a cookie cutter version of that. We actually try to figure out how to make that system work within something that actually is special. So
is being exceptional at anything ever easy?
No.
You know, if for us, it's like, if we want to be exceptional and have exceptional spaces and create exceptional experiences where we serve exceptional coffees, then it shouldn't be easy. But I think that, you know, that became when the hi-fi location kind of that conversation started. We were like, where do we go from here? We've got 2 shops. One has this really strong identity, the Break Shop. You know, it's characterized by the building itself. And I was like, I think in our conversation, it kind of organically got there, like, hey, Flagship has a soul of just being there so long, having regulars for so long, it has a soul. Break Shop really feels like it has a little bit of a soul. How do we put soul into this building? And how do we make it feel like none of the things it's already been?
Well, and your neighborhood coffee shop, it's yours. It's not just walking into an Upshot that happens to be in your neighborhood. That is your Upshot. It's different than any other Upshot.
Yeah, and people have theirs, like the Lindenwood students, they have their Break Shop, and all the people that live in Old St. Charles like that. And now Clayton, you know, you have there's such diversity in Clayton. You have your business people that are there probably at 7, 8 a.m. Then you have, you know, your students from WashU maybe driving in, you know, for lunch and sitting there for like 3-4 hours. So, I mean, building the brand is the best part though. And that's like why you're like, and building it with other people. So I know why partnering together is fun, because it's not fun to do things on your own.
No.
You know, it's fun, and you get to work with your kids too.
Yep.
You know, I think I see him there every Friday morning at Cottleville.
Initially, the intention with the VB Chocolate Bar was to have a family business in a community where my kids went to school, where I lived. Like, everything was about being in that community and getting to engage with the people. Because previously, I was living in Maplewood and I was driving to Cottleville. And so I was like living here and working here. And I was like, the intention here is to work with my family and to work in my community and just have connection every day with the people that we're actually impacting, seeing, hiring, serving. Like, I want to see the person that I hired at Target when I'm walking around on Friday. I don't necessarily want to say hi to you. Sometimes I just want to sneak down the aisle, but I want you to be in my community, and I want to.
You give them one of these.
Good to see.
And then you go to a game on a Friday night and you're like, oh, a couple of my employees are out there. One's cheerleading, one's playing, or like whatever. You get to like be in.
He ran into one of our employees in Kansas City the other day at a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what's wild?
I mean, you've had hundreds and hundreds of people over the past, you know.
Well, I think
VBs.
there's a really unique thing about VBs where we've had VBs into Upshot where we've hired so many baristas and trained so many baristas over the 12, 13 years it's been in existence that I have experiences where I'll go to Chicago, walk into Blue Bottle, and I've got an Upshot employee there. Yeah. Right? I'll go to somewhere else in another city, and I've got someone that you worked for me when they were 16. And I think that's the most amazing thing, is just to walk into a new city, into a new shop, and see someone that like you were able to impact at some point in their life. Yeah. And ideally, that was in a very positive way.
So the St. Louis community, obviously, we have some very talented coffee people in St. Louis. You know, you have some really great brands. When you guys are, you know, building your brand, what does it mean to be able to build in a city that's up and coming with some of these other people, and you get to kind of bounce ideas off these other people and see like them do amazing things as well?
I think that's the fun part about the coffee community, is everyone's kind of got the way that their brand functions, and everyone's excellent at the way that they do it. And you can kind of admire the way that everyone chooses the lane that they're in, and the excellent way that they do that. Yeah. It's been really fun to kind of see what Sump has done over, because I mean, Sump, me and Blueprint were all pretty much open when VB's opened. That was the same year that Sump and Blueprint opened. So, and then Comet opened maybe 6 months after that. So a lot of the greatest shops that I still go to and love, you know, we all started right around the exact same, like 6 month to 1 year period. And to see kind of like how everyone's evolved through those 4 staples, and then some new guys that have come to the table. It's really fascinating and fun to watch everyone. I think we want to make sure our success isn't insulated as well. Mm-hmm. You know, we were at Road Crew yesterday. We were at Sump yesterday. We did a little South City tour there. That's awesome. But you know, it's really important for us to not get, it's so easy to get in your zone. We've got so much going on. It's like, man, I haven't gone to another coffee shop in 6 months. I know. So we try to make sure that doesn't happen. But also, you know, even with so we just launched a really fun latte art competition series. I saw that. We did part 1. It was awesome. It was super fun. And an important aspect of that event is going to be, you know, having hosts from other shops, having sponsors from other shops, having judges from other shops, and really trying to make it
a St. Louis coffee community event hosted by us, rather than just here's all of Upshot presenting something to you. It's more or less the community hosted at our shop.
Yeah.
You know,
and opening up your guys' spaces. I feel like you guys do that. There's a big emphasis in events and in opening up the spaces. You just from like following you guys on social media, I just see stuff like whether it's the flea market or late night market or early morning runs or whatever you guys are doing. So you know, it's easy to just get in your own bubble and worry about just managing the one shift, but it's like, hey, what can we actually do? We're coffee is community, you know.
Absolutely.
You want to drink coffee with somebody. Everybody there's talking to somebody while they're drinking coffee, hopefully, or they're working.
And we've done fun events like yoga in the parking lot for someone that's a regular that has a yoga studio that's launching their deal. And, you
it's
know,
coming
just,
up July 19th, I think, at the Break Shop. We're
Nice.
doing a yoga Saturday morning.
sunrise yoga, and then followed up
yoga.
with a breakfast sandwich,
Ooh.
some coffee. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What a day.
Food. You know, some coffee shops are just coffee. Some get food from other people, but it seems like you guys have this emphasis on hospitality. I feel like it's more of a hospitality experience. And some of the shops are different, but they all have food. But like, what does the hospitality and food element add to your business, and why is that so important? Because I'm sure that's always evolving.
I think one thing that was always very important to VBs that I didn't really know kind of how to articulate it, but it was always something that was in our DNA, was that hospitality thing of like understanding that we are here to create an energy in this place that makes you feel different when you're here. And that's probably why you're here. I mean, it's probably also because you want a coffee, but the way I make you feel when you're in my space, right? And the romantic feeling I have with that, where when you're like, man, I need a coffee. Oh man. And then you just like warm up inside thinking about getting that coffee from Upshot and seeing, you know, the barista that you get to see and enjoying that experience. That's been a very important thing. Is just figuring out like, and then when Eric brought in, he actually did a very good job of defining that in a way, which was bringing energy in through the music. And he uses the word vibe quite a bit. So like working on that intangible vibe of like, why is it that you feel different when you're in here? And it's something that I've heard from people, you know, over the last 12 years of being in all of our shops, is like, I just feel different when I'm in here. And that's what makes this place special to me. And it's like, it's hard to define that, but it's the hospitality aspect of like, we're excited to see you. We want to make your drink, you know, we appreciate you. And this is a place that when you walk in, hopefully you make our day better and we make your day better. And like, we've exchanged energy in a way that is uplifting to both of us. And that's why you were here.
Yeah. And I do use the word vibe a lot. I think it's a good catch-all for that intangible. Cause it's the things that customers can't see, they can only feel. And honestly, one of the biggest compliments I've gotten from people who introduce themselves to me as like, oh, you're the new guy, right? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, wow, you know, Hi-Fi is such a vibe. Break Shop, this just feels so different than it did a year ago or whatever it is. And to me, that's a really big compliment, not just for the things I'm doing, but obviously our staff that's being communicated through them, which is huge too. I mean, that's about food. The food is awesome.
It's fire.
Thank you.
Croffles. Oh my God.
The Croffles are crazy. We'll give a shout out. I'm going to hear about this. This is hard to even do, but you
got to do it.
Joey Warman over at the Hi-Fi location. That was his idea, 100%.
Yeah.
Of course, I help him execute it, but that was his idea, and it's been awesome. They're insanely good. I think one thing I recognized living in Los Angeles for 10 years, food is just elevated almost everywhere.
Of course.
Where I feel like you have to look a little bit harder in the Midwest for really good food. There is phenomenal food here, but it's a little bit harder to find. And I was like, I think, you know, doing really, really, really good food is something that could set us apart from other shops.
For over 150 years, SSM Health has been providing hope, healing, and opportunities to the St. Louis community. With over 40,000 employees across 4 states, they're not only delivering exceptional care, they're one of the region's largest employers, shaping the future of healthcare. We're proud to present SSM Health as the official healthcare partner of the STL Bucket List show. If you've dreamed of a career where you're truly making a difference every day, SSM Health can help you take that to the next step. Learn more at their website in the link in the show notes. Yeah. It's a whole nother business too. I mean, the food side of it's a whole nother strategy. It's
50% of our business is this one, is the food.
It'd be easier to just order some pastries from somebody and set them out there, but it's just, it's every detail matters when you're in a shop and when you're in a space. And similar to what we're trying to create here is like spare no cost. And that's what I did here is like, okay, do we need it? Let's buy it. And although that's not the best business move, I think it will pay off in the long run. But like every little detail matters. And I think when I go into your guys' shop and it's not like the finishes, it's just like every little detail from the questions that I asked the staff. So the reason I figured out that the blend I needed for espresso is like I asked a question and then they answered the question and then they pulled me to the side and they talked to me about it. And then I bought it and I've been buying a bag there every week for the last 6 months probably because I get a free cold brew every time I buy a bag.
Fantastic.
And I love that deal. I'm like, dude, that's like then I get the bag for like $12 instead of 20 because I'm getting like a $7 cold brew, whatever it is, you know, and then I just like, and then I'll, you know, that I didn't know about that deal, but they're like, did you know, like I was going to get another coffee, but they're like, I can do a free cold brew if you get a bag. And I'm like, oh, now that I know that, I get my bag every, 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks, however much it takes to go through a bag. But
that house about 3 days.
We're
bringing home the 5-pound bags at this point.
I thought about getting the 5-pound bags.
So bad.
I need to start getting 2-pounders from the shop because Samantha, and then Samantha.
So you guys,
I don't notice, and I'm leaving the house at 7:30 in the morning, and I'm going to a coffee shop. Yeah. Then I'm getting a text at about 8:30 from my wife. We're out of coffee. How could you do this to me? And should we get divorced? Or
well, not right now.
Don't divorce me, honey.
I'll come drink, and then you go bring her a coffee. No, I mean I think that's amazing, but yeah, I think that what you guys are doing is it's you're creating an experience that happens to sell coffee, but then the coffee is amazing too. There's so much detail. When I went to the roastery and I was talking to some of your team there, and then I see you guys cupping and doing all these different things, like it's like there's it's hard to even explain how much goes into like one purchase that in all reality is such a small purchase for somebody, you know, because like you said, it's like it's a $5 to $10 purchase, but there's so much detail put into it.
Well, we got to give that up to Blake Shaper, our
coffee director
of coffee
and director of design.
Yeah.
Yes. Formerly head roaster, but
got some new
anymore.
titles.
Yeah.
But no, Blake is incredible, and for me specifically, coming in as the new guy, I was beyond impressed with the quality of the coffees because. And I've seen big brands. There's a big one in LA that I won't name, but they pivoted from the multi-roaster platform to roasting their own coffee, and it was like a nosedive on the quality. It was like jarring. I was like, whoa. They've gotten much better.
Right.
But like, Blake has only been roasting for, at that point, 3 years or something. I mean, to put out what we're putting out is beyond impressive, in my opinion, being in this industry for 15 years.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So
that's
Blake,
amazing. Shout out Blake. The design's on point too. Like everything from your guys' website, like I really love, I'm a branding and marketing guy. And I just know that there's stuff that goes into it. It's not just posting to post. The one post I really enjoyed that you guys just did was that new menu post with Break Shop. I loved like the red and white flag, like the checkers.
Oh, dude,
I loved that. That branding was on point.
And to have somebody like Blake in our camp,
in-house,
and be able to say like, yo, here's the menu, here's the vibe of the new lunch menu. It's New York Italian deli.
Yep.
And for him to just come to me, no notes, run it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love that.
Incredible.
I love that. And that's the value of in-house and building a team and, and really building it. So we're talking about all these amazing things that you guys are doing, but like, I mean, let's talk about some growth outlooks for you guys. I mean, obviously you got the roastery. I mean, what are things that you guys want to do? And I don't even like to do like 5-year, 10-year, but like, obviously, like, do you guys want to grow to more shops? Do you guys want to roast more for other people? Wholesale, obviously, I'm sure is a big thing for you guys. Connor, I can throw it to you. I mean, what does growth success look like for you guys?
Growth for us will be getting our coffee into more shops as a guest roaster. Yeah. We would love to see our coffee in more shops. We'd love to handle more people's espresso. One area that we've been growing in nicely is, taking over people's church coffee and being able to serve these churches something other than Folgers that they're drinking. So that's been a big area for us, but we're in 35 different retailers now. We'd love to see that expand. We'd love to bring more coffee shops on that we can help out. I know we're looking at expanding into a coffee cart just for our own purposes to do events for specifically our cafes and our partners, not so much like a hire out and build a business off of coffee carts, but a mobile version of doing really fun things that could support people that we do business with.
Of course.
And then I think what we're seeing with the retail locations and how much fun we can have with doing these unique things and how they respond to the neighborhoods, and then how those neighborhoods sell a lot more coffee everywhere else that we have coffee. I think you'll probably see some more concepts coming out of us for coffee shops. So I think you'll see varied growth. We'd love more and more people to set up subscriptions on our website for coffee, so I can send it directly to your office, directly to your home. And I'd love to see more stuff going through the web. So I know some of the areas we're focusing on right now is developing some merch. We just rolled out our first t-shirt and hat in a while. We're going to start rolling out some mugs and some different stuff. So there's a lot of areas to grow. I think our main concern right now is with the 3 that we have, making them all feel exactly as perfect as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Right. And if we perfect those 3 first and we wait for the right opportunities, we'll be in great shape.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think you can expect more shops from us.
Yeah.
And we're definitely excited to continue that kind of idea of each having its own soul, its own sub brand.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So I want to talk about St. Louis a little bit more. So it is the STL Bucket List show. Just give you guys a little background. We built this page in 2019, highlighting the people, places, and events that make St. Louis unique. Me and my wife took a trip to Chicago. We loved Chicago. We loved these local Instagram pages this was influencers before influencers. You're from LA, so you knew about influencers for a long time. But like in 2019, like people were just posting random stuff all the time. But like influencing in Chicago was big at that time. And there was pages that were highlighting local businesses in a way that like the tourism bureaus weren't doing. The tourism bureaus were using paid, whatever, their partners and board members, and they were highlighting experiences. But like nobody was like featuring a small coffee shop in South City on Hampton, like they weren't like, so we took it upon ourselves to kind of build this page and at that time we were writing blogs. You guys remember blogs?
Oh yeah.
Vlogs.
Blogs were cool. And my wife's a writer and it was fun, but then she's like, okay, now we have to make reels. So then we had to make videos.
You launched the Instagram in 2019?
2019, yeah.
Wow. That's killer, man.
And it's all been organic, but really what we did was we made it a mission to just post as many local businesses as possible. And just slowly, like we reached out to you, hey, can we come visit? Do a little trade, you put some food out, we'll do a video, 100,000 views. Now, it used to be 5,000 views. Now it's 100,000 views a video. So as we're building that, we like to have our personal bucket list. We have no kids for the day, which hasn't happened. We have 2 babies under 2. When we have the babysitter, like we have this spot we're going for coffee, this spot we're going for lunch, this spot we're going for dinner. Do you guys have those bucket list spots? Connor, I'll throw it to you first as an OG. Not calling you old, but just an OG.
I'll be 45 next month, so I don't know. That's probably getting old for coffee for sure.
So you've been around for St. Louis for a long time. So when you think of your kids are a little bit older now, like think of some ideal days. Maybe you're off, and you get, where are you going for lunch? Maybe what are you doing?
So one of the things that me and my wife like to do, like if we have a ton of time to kill and it's nice outside, hop on our bikes. We live close to the Katy Trail, so we'll just ride down the Katy Trail and we'll go into Defiance and get pizza. Good news.
Yeah, great spot.
That way we get a little 9-mile bike ride, get a little exercise, a little time together, get a little pizza, have a little fun, burn it off on the way back. We also have a new spot that opened right in our neck of the woods called Cottleville, which is an incredible spot. And that's
killer.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's like 3 miles from my house and it's amazing. So that's definitely going to be a go-to spot. And then we have Frankie Martin's right in downtown Cottleville, which is where, like, if I've got younger kids or people in from out of town and we've got a big group, and we all just want to hang out outside and have it be relaxed and casual, hit the food trucks, get some drinks, Frankie Martin's Garden in Cottleville is definitely a go-to spot.
Nice. What about like date night? So like you've mentioned Cottleville Village, but
if I'm leaving Cottleville and I'm going on a date with my wife, I really like Katie's Pizza and Pasta over in Town and Country. That's kind of our little go-to spot. Is we love Katie's Pizza and Pasta. Yeah. It's
quick, consistent, just always hits.
It's just her hospitality's great.
Yeah,
I like. It's one of those places where I'm in the restaurant, I feel good.
Yeah,
it never disappoints. I feel like the food is incredible. It's priced really well for what it is. The service is incredible, and it's just a place that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So bike ride, a lot of pizza. You're a pizza guy.
I like pizza, I guess.
Yeah, man. Come on now. But that's
like
when you
pizza.
bike it off, so you look so thin.
I got Jose Peña's. That's my other one. That's like our little secret spot right behind our neighborhood because like literally we can walk there. So you got your Jose Peña's on Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
You got our little Thai spot. We got, Thai Gourmet right behind us on Highway K. We've got our little takeout. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sunisas. I can give you a million of them.
Yeah, we'll have to drop a list. Maybe you have to pay for that on our Patreon and get the
That's
full
right.
list.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's fun, man. It's fun talking about other people doing incredible things. And especially you mentioned like Thai Gourmet. Nobody would know about it. And it's such a small place. And they're just so nice in there. Their whole family's in there every time you go there.
Another amazing place is Rack House right there in Cottleville. if you like incredible food, it's great. Incredible bar program.
Yeah.
What I used to go there for a lot was cigar lounge. I've quit smoking cigars because I'm a degenerate and I'll just inhale everything and turn it into a nightmare for myself. So, but if I were a normal human that could enjoy things for more than a year before I have to give them up, Rack House is where I would absolutely go hang out and smoke a cigar.
The little cigar lounge is cool.
It's one cigar lounge. You can sit in there. You can bring your own stick. You can order food off their menu. You can order a Manhattan off their menu. They got great deals. It's a great little lounge to hang out in.
Yeah, it's awesome. Looking for something light, crisp, and absolutely refreshing? Zwickle Light by Urban Chestnut is the official light beer of the STL Bucket List show. It's less than 100 calories, and it's the perfect drink for summer. Enjoy a beer at the beer garden, in the Grove, or chilling at home in the backyard with your friends and family. This episode is sponsored by Upshot Coffee, 3 St. Louis area locations in Cottleville, Break Shop in St. Charles, and their new Hi-Fi location in Clayton. I personally use Upshot Coffee every day at my espresso machine at home, and I try to visit one of the shops at least once a week. They source the beans responsibly from local farms all across the world, and they take care of their staff, and they take care of the community. Let's get back to the show. All right, Eric, so you coming from LA, obviously you had your spots before you moved, but ever since you went to LA and came back, it's a whole new city. So what are some of your guys' go-tos? I mean, you got a young kid too. So.
Yeah. So it's kind of, it's coming back. when my wife and I would come back for Christmas or whatever, my family has basically got a stranglehold on our time.
Yeah.
So we weren't coming back and trying out all the fun new restaurants opening up in St. Louis for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
So coming back, there's like a lot that I have on my bucket list that I want to check out.
Yeah.
And we've hit a few, and especially now when we came back, we had a new baby like immediately. So now I've got the 2 kids, I've got the 2 businesses. I'm like, so we've been.
I'm like, fuck. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you're stressed.
Yeah, right. So I'll admit I haven't been to a lot of places that I want to go, but maybe one of the most impressive places I've been is super close to my house in O'Fallon.
Mm-hmm.
It's great for bringing kids. It's great for just going. Samantha and I. It's called Goodwood.
Mm-hmm.
I think it used to be like an Irish pub that was there. It's in like old O'Fallon.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
about. It's
in
a historical building. It's Goodwood Brewery. They do their own. They distill their own whiskey as well. Mm-hmm. The food is phenomenal, and that's like for me, like I said, like definitely jaded by restaurants in LA.
No, it looks great.
And the food at Goodwood is phenomenal. Black and Catfish.
Oh, that's over there by the Snow Biz, like where the Snow Biz used to be.
Yes.
Kind of back there on the old Main Street. Yep. Behind
it's
Fort
awesome.
North. Yep.
The beers are great. The service is great.
Yeah.
But the food is truly what makes me like, I love that.
That's good to know. That's a hidden gem.
Yeah.
You're about to get them
really
popping off
is.
this podcast. They're about to people be showing up there and they're going to blow your spot up.
They should be. Yeah. Damn it. And then, if we've got some time to get away from the kids and get away from St. Charles, then we're going to Planter's House.
Yeah.
Planter's House, just the best drinks, best cocktails.
Good.
When we had to celebrate Joey's quaffle invention, that's where we went.
Oh, that was the celebrated event.
We bought Joey a lot of drinks at Planter's House as the first stop.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we bought Joey a lot of drinks at several places.
Ted Kilgore, the owner of that, I mean, he was the first one to bring cocktails like that to St. Louis. I mean, now you see them everywhere. There's so many great cocktails. Like some of my favorites over at Lazy Tiger, Yellow Belly, some of the best mezcal drinks. Like just,
absolutely.
Oh my God, so good. That's so funny. You guys are like, yeah, man, we're going to celebrate the menu item launch.
Yeah.
That's
something
dope.
that's majorly
That's culture building.
That's right.
A spot that's majorly on my bucket list that hasn't opened yet is from the Yellow Belly guys, Extra Wavy.
Yeah,
I've started following their Instagram just because I'm so stoked.
Yes.
I love oysters. I love raw bars, and I feel like there's only a couple in town, and a couple of them I just am not interested in eating fish from that joint, but I'm super excited about that place.
So that raw bar or Extra Wavy is right across the street from Planter's House in the old PW Pizza spot in Lafayette Square.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
They had a fire there a couple of years ago, Vendicet and all that. So I think they rehabbed the building. But yeah, those guys do a really good job. I mean, Yellow Belly's always consistent. But yeah, it's hard, man. Like people ask me like if I've been to these new spots, and I have 2 kids under 2. And it's like I go to work, I go home, I go back, I clock back in until about 8, and then I'm passing out, or I'm trying to like log in and do stuff. So he's actually in almost the best part of his life coming up.
We're getting there, dude.
His kids are about to, blossom. They're gonna start doing their own things, and you'll miss them. It'll be a little quiet in the house sometimes, but
it was wild. Like my son, I've got a kid that turns 20 this month. I turned 45, he turns 20, and it's this new level of parenting where it was like my son texts me and goes, "Hey Dad, this band that we love, Watch House, is playing in Chicago. If I buy the tickets, do you want to go?"
Oh wow.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty wild. That's pretty
ticket.
cool. Like my son invited me to go do a weekend or like, 2 days in Chicago with him. He bought the tickets.
Father, son, it's now kind of not buddies, but like you're becoming like buddies.
Yeah. I mean, I love and respect him. He's a hard worker. He's a great kid. Like I want to spend as much time with my son as I possibly can. And, I understand that he's got his own life he's got to go develop and live, but I get to work with him. Yeah. We get to go hang out, and it's just awesome. So that's the phase of parent.
I think I saw that on IG. You guys just did that.
It was last week, dude. We went up there for a couple days, and of course, me and him traveling together is basically just like going to be drinking everything of coffee we can possibly find in Chicago. Like it's just, it would kill most people, but we love it.
Yeah. Yeah, how much coffee? I mean,
I was worried for your heart that weekend.
That's crazy.
Most people are worried about me.
After when I drink the cold brew from your guys' space and then I have like another coffee, like I'm lit.
So that morning of that road trip,
I'm like sweating.
The morning of the road trip when we left for Chicago, I think my morning, and I overdid it. I didn't feel great on my way to the first stop, quite honestly. Yeah. But we woke up, I drank 10 cups of coffee at home from 5 to 7. Yeah, and then he got up, we got ready, and I was like, well, let's go up to Cottleville. We got to drop a couple things off and say goodbye to people. And then I think I did 2 double shots of Heat Waves, which is our guest espresso, which is just so good. I just couldn't help myself.
2
it's
double
just
shots?
So good.
It is very good.
Is this one here?
So I just
that one there, the Heat Waves.
Did 2 double shots of that, and then I think I had a batch brew, so a 12-ounce hot black coffee for the road. And then I think I drank 16 ounces of Kyoto on the way out the door.
16 ounces?
It was not well. I was not well.
So that's like
I actually
over
felt
thousands of milligrams of caffeine.
It was too much. Yeah. I was so excited for the trip that I just was like,
hey, well, that's fun.
Let's just start this thing off. Oh, and then I was like, we're driving, and I was like, oh, let's hit this other coffee shop over here, and we were gonna go check out the new Goshen over in Glen Carbon. I was like, so let's stop there and check that out. And I stopped there, and I was like, Connor, I really. You're going to have to I'll sip your coffee, but I can't even take a coffee. I need a break.
Yeah. So give me a tea or something.
Because you guys stopped at 2 other places after Goshen, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Then we went to one of our old break shop managers is back at his a shop in Decatur, Illinois called The River. So that was on the way. So we stopped off, saw what he was doing. He was launching his whole summer menu, got to catch up with him. And then another one of our guys that used to work in the kitchen at VB's has a shop outside of Chicago. And so we wanted to go see him. And
oh, did you go to that joint?
Yeah.
Is it like the bar?
Yeah, it's like a bar and deli and coffee.
What's it called? He was just in the break shop. Give me a big hug. That's awesome. I totally forget. I can't think of what the name of the joint is though.
We'll drop it in the notes.
I say I'll have to put it in there afterwards because I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, visit it.
The STL Bucket List show is proudly sponsored by Suede Dispensary. With 11 Missouri area locations, Suede does so much for the St. Louis community. We've been working with this team for a couple years back since medical was here, and we're excited to support their new product launches, events, and community initiatives. We couldn't be happier to work with this premier cannabis brand, and we're excited for them to sponsor the show. Enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Yes.
No, that's cool, man. Like planning your trips. Like, I mean, we plan our trips around like restaurants, and you seem to plan your trips around coffee, and then you discover the towns outside of that after, and no, I think it's cool, man. So I want to tell the people a little bit about what we're about to be doing. So, I mean, with STL Bucket List, we were searching for a coffee brand that we love and that we actually use. We didn't want to just work with coffee just to be in coffee, but as we launch this new studio, we want to be able to offer our guests coffee before the show, and we want that to be Upshot Coffee. So when I reached out to Connor, visited the roastery, we're excited to make Upshot the official coffee of STL Bucket List. We believe that we're the best on Instagram in St. Louis. I know there's people doing amazing work, but we've built this community of over 300,000 people. Our email list is growing. People follow us for what to do in St. Louis, and I think you guys are the best, if not one of the best coffee people in St. Louis. So it just makes sense that we align with that. So super excited. So what you guys will see is on the podcast, you'll see some new products when they get new stuff in town. We're going to change like the way the video looks, and then you guys are going to be seeing some new events that we're going to be sharing that Upshot's got going on, probably starting with Sunrise Yoga here in a couple weeks.
We've got our vendor market, our vintage market this Saturday.
From
9 to 3.
So we're going to
break shop.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when this comes out next week, we'll give them a recap on that.
Oh yeah.
We'll tell you all about it.
We'll tell you all about it next week, but we will post on social media.
We'll
share some stories and stuff. No, we don't want to be live.
You didn't trust us.
Yeah, well, I don't trust you guys. I didn't know you guys well enough to go live.
He heard some rumors about you, Eric.
Yeah, man. I don't know about you guys. No, you guys would be fine. We're good. But yeah, other than that, when we talk about mentors, we talk about other brands, maybe not mentorship, but like who in town, you mentioned Sump, you mentioned these other guys, like who are you looking at and really, really loving? I know there's so many people to mention. It's so hard, but like other people in St. Louis that are doing great work in the coffee space that you guys really love to talk to, or just even look from afar.
I was going to say, one of the things that I've really enjoyed is, I signed up for a subscription through Comet. Nice. And they do, David curates an exotic, and it can be from anywhere in the world. And he curates that. He gives you detailed notes. He sends it out. So I've been enjoying having that subscription through Comet. And Comet's a shop I like to go into and grab a guest espresso. Yeah. Typically speaking, because they're going to have something there that I just really can't get anywhere else. Yeah. So Comet's been a fun experience for me. I really appreciate them. Scott and me starting pretty much around the same time, and he went into roasting much quicker than me, but I've always just kind of followed what he's doing and admired his dedication to black coffee and doing things his way. And there's just so many people that do a good job with hospitality. And I would say more so than looking at what people are doing with coffee or comparing ourselves to other coffee people. What I really watch now is like people that are just doing hospitality well. Yeah. Right? Because there's a million ways to do coffee or food, but what I focus on now is like a place that I can go into, and if I can learn the way that they operate their business, treat their customers, treat their employees, and the overall hospitality aspect, that's the side that is really inspiring to me. And so when you look at guys like in St. Louis,
it doesn't even have to be coffee. You're like, oh, this sandwich place does amazing.
Well, dude, when we were in Chicago, we went to Cottleville for the first time, and let me tell you, like the burger was great, but the hospitality was phenomenal. Yeah. And you're sitting at a tavern in Chicago. It's super busy. All you're doing is ordering an expensive hamburger.
Loud.
Right.
Yeah,
but they good. Just, from the way you felt when you walked in, to the energy, to the level of the music, to the way the food was presented, to the waiter, like
how people
that was an experience where you're like, I don't care if they're selling tires. Yeah. It works. Yeah. Right. Like I don't even have to like it. I just like to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the most impressive places that we've been together too, and they're friends of ours, is Saucy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Saucy in St. Charles.
Yeah, I met him. Yeah, he's
it's by the Fratelli's guys. Yeah. Like when
food is fire too.
The food is
like a fast casual,
unbelievably
like
fast casual. Yeah. But the brand, the look, like that place is super impressive to me.
It's being hidden in St. Charles right now, and once people figure it out, it's over.
Yeah. I just know that that's gonna work. Like when you told me that this is not a brand with $1 billion behind it, and there's 200 of them around, and it's by a chef in Italy, and this is their fast casual concept. That's what I expected. And it's like, oh no, these are friends of mine whose parents owns Fratelli's, and this is just what they did together, the brothers. Yeah, and I was like,
well, he's the guy I met. He's a film and he's a media marketing guy.
He actually came back from LA as well, and then started that.
Yeah, so when he built it, he built it to scale. So a lot of people don't understand when you're building, even our brand, like we didn't build it to be a big brand. We just built it to be a brand. Yeah. And then you realize when you see Saucy, you're like, I could see Saucy. I could see 10 of them out here.
Oh, 100%.
It's like the Fazoli's on steroids, you know? It's like the elevated, and then they're making it in there. But yeah, I had an incredible experience. But I do agree with you. When I talked to him, I'm like, you're right here in St. Charles, tucked away off First Capital, you know. But once people figure out, and George Mayhey's been all over it, like the people that know food have been all over it, you know.
And they're
it's on the way.
Like they've been regulars of mine since forever. Yeah. We do all the espresso for the cheesecakes at Fratelli's or the tiramisus. Yeah. And they're just legitimately really great guys too. Yeah, and that's always the fun part, is like when you appreciate someone's business and it does a great job, but then you know them and you know that they're actually great people with great families that are taking care of people for the right reasons. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, I get to talk to those guys a lot actually, because they're picking up the espresso from Break Shop. Yep. I'm talking to them every week, and those guys are just the nicest guys and really unassuming for putting something together that is so awesome.
And you talk about details and the attention to details of the space, and I love when people try. You know, it's like we live in a world where you don't have to try that hard sometimes to be successful. But I mean, you always have to try to be successful. But a lot of those things is the spare no cost. It's like they're sparing no cost to create a space that's actually truly special.
If you can remember the art that's in that room, they did that.
Yeah, no, I remember because he had the little red thing. It was like Julius Caesar stuff. Yeah. They did that. I know exactly about it.
Unbelievable. I was just like, when does it stop here? That's definitely who I've been most impressed with.
That's awesome. Well,
as far as branding brand and just execution goes all around.
And I will say, like, I've been to Louis one time over in Clayton.
Yeah.
I took my wife there for a date, and I will say their hospitality there is something I've not forgotten since I was there.
Yeah, people in St. Louis, man,
Louis on demand.
They say we punch above our weight because it's so hard when you live in St. Louis. It's like I have so many great options, and I feel almost for these people because it's like almost not enough people to support the amount of amazing restaurants that we have sometimes. You know, because you're like, I go to this one pocket neighborhood, I'm on Demond, and I'll go to that spot all the time, or I'm in St. Charles, I'll go to Noto, or whatever it is,
well,
you know?
And I think that's always the part that I respect the most is when you've already kind of like made it to where everyone thinks you're the best, right?
Yeah.
Like where a Louis is, or Katie's Pizza, or a Noto's, like all these great restaurants that are in St. Louis and St. Charles. And you know that those guys are not taking their foot off the gas whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what you start to respect is like, oh, we already did it. Everyone already thinks we're great. We already hit all the lists. We're already making tons of money. Or we're making money. We're paying our staff.
Yeah.
And that's not enough. It's like, how do we get better? And you can feel that when you're in those spaces. Like, you know, when you're in a successful place where ownership wants it to be even better than it already is. And you know when you're in a space where it's like, oh, we kind of got to the top of the mountain and we're just coasting now.
Yeah. Well, they're scaling too. Like you mentioned Louis. I mean, they created that store rights, right? Or not rights. They created rights, obviously, which is amazing too. Yeah. I mean, you can't even get a reservation. But then the Box Hill, that place is unbelievable. And then the Bormio people, or in the basement of Noto, it's like, why would Noto's busy all night? Let's just do something else in the basement instead of just doing a bigger seating for Noto. Right. They're like, let's just do a whole new concept. It's like, dang.
And all around, like, who do we admire? Who do we look up? Who's on our bucket list?
Yeah.
Companies that are like that.
Yeah.
That's who we admire
satisfied.
because we see a lot of ourselves in those companies, and that's who inspires us to continue keeping our pedal to the metal as well, as it were.
There was a podcast I just listened to about building a business, and it's like there's never really you're never like satisfied. You feel good building the business. It gets you up in the morning. It gives you stuff to talk about with your friends and family. Like just the building, and you guys get to do it together now. Is like building is the best part when you're cupping new products. When you're developing a new brand, like the Hi-Fi logo, like once you develop it, then you get to release it and then people react to it. And sometimes they don't always react great. And sometimes you don't sell out all your shirts, but it's still fun. Process is still fun.
I said it this way to somebody the other day. And this is potentially a sickness that we have and that other business owners have, is like, as soon as you feel you've achieved success, or as soon as you feel you've achieved this goal, it's time to move the goalpost.
Yeah.
And that might not be the healthiest.
It's not healthy, but I think it does kind of make you great.
Entrepreneurs are like that, man.
That's just how hard we want to push to make our business something that's really special in the coffee space.
Yeah.
And if you're complimenting our business, which happens once in a while, and our eyes look glazed over, it's because we're thinking of the 3 things that we just screwed up while you're talking to us. And so, like, you know, a little bit of that, and maybe stopping and enjoying it a bit.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Well, fellas, I appreciate you guys for coming on. We'll drop some links in the show notes on where you guys can find more information. But I guess a good place to start is just head to weareupshotcoffee.com, find the locations. And if you're not in the St. Louis area and you're listening, go to their store and set up that subscription. Come on.
We are super excited to be your partners.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thanks for bringing us on board.
Yeah.
We can't wait to do this with you guys.
We're going to the
We love what you guys do. Let's go.
All right. See you guys next week.
Hey, St. Louis, Brent Labowitz Law Firm, personal injury law firm here in St. Louis. Excited to be part of the STL Bucket List and sponsor them for their podcast. Just want to go ahead and say, if you ever need a personal injury lawyer here in town in St. Louis, give us a call, look us up. If you get involved in an accident of any type at all, give us a call, free case evaluation. We'll try to walk you through the process.
Today, they rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on, they'll give you, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.